So,
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were gonna start it off.
I'm not deleting that
uh,
out. You better introduce now.
all right. Well, welcome back to the Bleach Wiki podcast. I'm Zill, and I know nothing.
What are you talking about?
That all right. That's song with the high pitched squeaky voice,
I don't
and
have a high
Sal's here
Yo,
pitched squeaky
too.
voice. I have a quite a
And
yo.
manly voice.
well, right now you do. When you hear yourself on the podcast, you'll understand.
Oh, right, I know. Oh,
Well,
that
all
makes
right.
me
Well,
What
blush.
y'all,
Sal's here too.
what y'all
Yeah.
need to work on is introing into the podcast because all that right there was horrible.
I
Well,
know
yeah,
it
but
really was.
That was
usually,
horrible.
usually the person with the recording software is the one to introduce. Otherwise, they tell the person beforehand,
So
"Oh,
my
you're gonna
word, so
introduce."
my words 10 minutes ago were when Sal said, "Are you going to start the podcast?" And I said, "Stop typing, Sil, and introduce the podcast." That was my words.
I didn't hear the stop typing. Oh, I heard the stop typing, but I didn't hear the.
All right, it's funny though. It's fine. It's all right. It's not a professional podcast, as we can all clearly see. Right.
Mhm.
Okay. So,
Well, well. So should we start off with
well, excuse me.
predictions? I guess. Oh God, this is already a train wreck.
My prediction that I wanted to bring up was in the past two chapters, we have Shunsu basically telling Nanao, uh, the other guy, that maybe he said, will it be okay? Will they? Because he had to leave. And then in the next thing, he's talking to Taki, and
Mahogataki.
he's
Sorry.
he basically is, they're talking, and he says, well, he has to go and talk to Central 46.
Yeah.
So in reference to both of those things, it's quite clear that in that first one, when he's talking to Nana, he says it's all right to leave because he has to basically get to the Soul Palace. So it's pretty clear that his whole thing is probably about going to Pal. That has reference to when we were initially talked about, well, not when we initially talked, but when and back in the Rancor arc, where Aizen was trying to build the key to get into the Soul Palace. He they surmised about how you make it or whatever, and it was saying, something that only the captain commanders have
Oh, the
access
knowledge
to.
of,
No,
yeah, well,
no,
yeah,
which
even
Yeah.
though it's there to read.
so my insinuation is first you have the royal guard take Ichigo and up, and then you know uh, Bach basically using whatever he did to get up there or whatever, which makes sense. And then your Hara and Yuri sending Ichigo and them up in a thing, the map to how to get there by given to them by Ganju, who was given the map by the Royal Guard, conveniently enough.
Yeah, it's gotten really
And
easy to Parney to get into the Soul Palace now. It's got
this
really easy.
impossible, impregnable, thing, all these defenses, is all of a sudden everybody and their mom can get to it. I'm
Yep.
thinking that Suki is going to the Central 46 to possibly ask them for the key, in order for him to go up to the Soul Palace, and that the key that we have a depiction of may actually exist, having been built on the bones or whatever, the royal garden and stuff like that, and actually acts as an actual key. So they have the actual key that is made up their bones, and this key that has remained hidden, and only the captain commander has allowed to have access to, and have to get special position permission for him to use it from the people who are directly his superiors, which are the Central 46, which is so funny because you think maybe Eisen had waited a little bit, and I don't know, instead of killing the Central 46, maybe he could have got some information out of them instead of, you know,
Oh yeah, it's
about
like,
this whole thing, and then he would
Oh
have to go
yeah.
through all this stupid shit. Like, it was just like really, but I think that's probably what's going to come
Yeah. Well,
down in the
746 has always been
yeah.
stupid, honestly.
yeah, weren't they weren't
Even
they
the
dead
movies.
before Rukia came back, weren't they? They were dead before Rukia came back.
Yeah,
I
Although
they
think
they
so.
were.
Yeah.
looked
He's
freshly killed when Hitsugaya found them. They
yeah.
looked freshly killed,
Well,
like.
We're dead.
no, I don't think so. I
Or
think the blood. I think he knows the blood was dried, so that they looked. So he knew that they'd been killed like 3 days beforehand or something.
Oh no, it was more than three
yeah,
days. I think he done it
he
when he
was.
first found out where
They were.
Rukia was.
Eisen was
Uh,
manipulating the situation from the
Probably.
Central 46 to get Rukia arrested and charged. So they were dead before they got
Yeah.
brought Rukia back because he was controlling that situation.
Yeah.
And I think, well, really telling about that, like I said, is if he had, got them to admit the information and went with that or whatever, then he wouldn't have gone through all, and then probably would have left story. So kind of like goes back full circle, I think. But it's either that or he's going to
Kill them?
ask to, either that or he's going to ask to free Eisen for some reason.
Oh,
Well,
ooh.
probably. I mean
Because he
that's what
asked
most of them have
permission in order
theorizing.
to train. He had to ask permission in order to train as a rookie, and he might have to ask permission for that. And as we know, Shansui is very persuasive when he's talking to the Central 46, probably
Yeah.
more so than Yamamoto ever was.
Yeah, he doesn't
Yeah.
take anything from
So,
them.
I can just imagine how that went down. I was gonna go down like, okay, I know you just sealed up this like mass murdering psychopath for 20,000 years, but like right now we kind of need to set up to the place that he was trying to get to in the first place, so that he can protect the Soul King that he wanted to kill. And yeah, anything else? No, okay, let's let him out.
Yeah, that's
well,
all we want to do.
what's in direct contrast here is that Eisen and primarily one. It's a kind of odd point. They primarily
Son,
want
are
the
you
same
getting any
thing, or
robot on
similar
I'm
sounds?
things.
getting robots too. Let's see. Hold on. Do you want to restart your PC? Or are you clicking on anything? Or is your internet
No,
okay? Oh, you're fine now. Hmm. Were you doing anything at the time?
no.
I'm getting a wee bit of robots whenever you were talking there, like it was cutting out, say, when you said back
I was
there.
too, so it's not just on you.
Yeah, I'm just wondering would it be my program then? But it shouldn't be affecting what you're hearing still though. So I thought it was
Probably. I wasn't
probably
doing it. So,
probably. Okay. Right, no, sorry. Right. I'll cut that bit out.
so
Carry on. Sorry.
yes. So, um,
What was it?
I'm
Where were we? Sorry.
yeah, because they're in direct contrast with each other.
Yeah, they're
I don't know what Bach's ultimate goal is because it seemed like he really has one. But he would be deprived of Eisen one, and so they're actually more direct enemies than anybody at this point.
still
So you
stop
put
typing.
them in the same
Sorry.
position with same area with each other, and they are pretty much required to go.
Yeah, they go head to head.
hmm
hmm Although, is it you that thinks that the Soul King's actually going to be turned out to be the bad guy, or think there might be a twist?
Yeah,
Well,
he's gonna be a monster.
that situation was I was trying to think of a bunch of different scenarios because it doesn't seem all too likely that everything is at face value. And what happened was that what if in this scenario the Soul King wasn't regard doing exactly to protect Soul King, they exist to protect the royal palace in order to not the palace from somebody in, but from the Soul King necessarily getting out. And if the Soul
Yeah,
King is kind of like a
like a prison
kept
kind of thing.
figure, yeah, like a kept figure, like he's treated like a king, so forth and so on, but he can't leave that palace,
Yeah, he's
and
too
that there's
powerful,
a
sort of
reason
thing.
behind. Yeah, 'cause the way I think I brought it up in the last podcast, it was the way that I was viewing that was when when Urahara and Aizen were talking about it, they referred to it as an it and a thing. So they're not referring it to as something that has male or female or that is uh, really a being in the way that you would think that they would be talking about, even when you're talking about a car or a Bount or whatever,
I think
or
someone did.
Quincy
Rangiku
Tronic.
did
So
say at one point that it was a royal family, didn't she? Back in the Arankar arc when we first found out about it.
well, we don't know that. I don't think she even really said that. She just said they had a king.
Mm,
But the thing about it was that what kind of stood out really was the fact that they're talking about this person, or this being as if it's a thing or something, and that it holds everything together. So if it's something as powerful as that all existence hinge and order hinges on its it being there, and that it obviously has an interest in Ichigo, and it
Hmm.
has wants and desire, and it's not just a contraption or a construct or a concept. It has wants and desires and so forth and so on, and a personality, but it's not. But Aizen looks at it as a monster, which means it's not something that even his mind can perceive as something that other than a concept. Then
Yeah.
you're talking about like a supreme being that has, infinite powers. It's got a personality, and may and if it's as much of as a monster that as you think it may not have the same type of ethical, moral, or emotional. Uh, it's not on that or on the It's probably beyond those concepts.
Yeah.
So it's not on the same level as a Shinigami or a Rancor or a Quincy or whatever have you. It's not going to sit there like as and monologue for 50 hours about
Oh,
the.
come on.
It's not going to sit there
Please.
like Aizen and
I
monologue about how
thank
I'm
you.
Oh no, if he comes out and
intelligent.
like turns out to be the main bad
Yeah,
guy
Aizen was
and
way more
doesn't talk, Sil
monologue
will
than
hate it.
Ask could ever hope.
Sil
Ask
wait a
has
doesn't
minute.
like when
monologue
the bad guy
twice.
doesn't talk. Sil hates it when the bad guy doesn't talk.
I'm not saying.
What?
You
I'm not
hated it when
saying.
Kagura didn't talk.
Wait,
Wait,
I'm not
wait,
saying that
wait.
he's the bad guy. I'm just saying that he's probably. I mean, the Soul King may be far. The situation may be different than everybody thinks, and the Soul
Yeah,
King may not be. He may not be the bad guy, but he may not be the thing
a
that you
good
want to
person.
come into contact with.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Put it that.
well, that makes sense to me.
It's
yeah,
not so much. Oh, he's the big bad of the story. No, no, no. I'm not saying that. I'm
No,
saying
he's just dangerous.
yeah, you don't want to be in a situation like the fact that he's interested in Ichigo kind of stands in contrast to everything else. Aizen is interested in Ichigo as so much as, Ichigo being kind of like he feeling Ichigo is on his level but Ichigo's beyond his level. You
well
know,
beyond his
Yep,
level.
yeah. Ichigo's
super.
interested in Bach. I mean, Bach is interested in Ichigo only so much as that he's got some connection via Quincy, but other than that, he doesn't really care about Ichigo. Um,
Yeah,
and
You care about
Ichigo's
anyone.
Ichigo's claim to fame, besides being the protagonist of the story, is that he is highly unique as being
he
a
was
Shinigami.
created by Aizen's experiments, though he was basically
No, he
born
really
out of
wasn't.
out of his manipulations.
Well, his birth
He
was
was
like set up by
indirectly.
Isaac's experience. He wasn't like born in a test tube.
I know he didn't go like, "Oh, here I'm creating
Well, wait
Ichigo."
a
He
minute. I
created
think
the
we need to
situation that
Like
spawned
like the,
Ichigo.
like the clones
we
in
need to
goddamn Star Wars.
specify this because I think people get a little bit on a tangent on here. Aizen's experiments were happening regardless of Ichigo, and Ichigo is pretty much at best a happy mistake or indirectly, you
Yeah,
know,
happy mistake, indirect
indirect
Ichigo, I'm
mistake.
sorry to say
result
you were
of
an
Aizen's
accident.
mistakes. I mean, Aizen's things, and Aizen didn't know any of that was going to happen or what the results of them were going to be. So
Oh
I
yeah,
think
well,
we need to take that out of the equation. What it is Ichigo is a happy mistake of a combination of Quincy and Hollow and
mommy and daddy loving each other very much.
Shinigami all put into one, originating out of a human body
Yeah,
and becoming all of those things. So he's unique in his well, I want to say genetics, but in his
Race.
in his racial makeup, because nothing like him exists. Even his sisters, at best, are humans with the potential to be Quincy's, and when they die or whatever, possibly, become Shinigami. But that's far, and that's way out the way. The fact that he exists is pretty much, what Kubo has done with him has made him unique in
yeah,
the scheme of things. So when you have this, well, let's for all intents and purposes, the supreme being of the Bleach universe, Soul King, interested in this creature that pretty much defies the characteristics of the order that is established in that universe.
yeah.
Because realistically, Quincy cannot abide being touched even by a hollow, because
They're
they'll
incompatible.
die. And that's the whole point behind the arrows and attacking from afar and all that stuff. And a hollow can poison a Quincy very easily, and the Quincy are the direct opposite of Shinigami, and Shinigami or what happens to humans who has tremendous spiritual power and awakens that power and so forth and so on. And then of course hollow is what happens to a human spirit when it gives into despair. So you have all of the things that are pretty much opposed to each other existing balanced as of this point
Hmm.
in one individual, totally against the set amount of order and everything like that set up, I guess, by the Soul King. So yeah, that's like human beings turning into something that they really should not be, and Supreme Being looking down like, I didn't create that. What the
I
fuck
didn't
is
create
that?
that. I didn't do
That's
that.
a human dragon horse thing. I don't know what that is, but I didn't make that. You
Yeah,
know,
human dragon horse.
Human
I mean,
dragon
Uh,
horse.
it's a horrible, horrible science experiment gone wrong, but Dr. Frankenstein made that, and but it's kind of interesting when you put it into a story and then have it like, the Supreme Being didn't make that, but he's kind of interested in why it exists
I
and
want to
what
know why Juju Man exists. Like, why did he just happen to happen?
that's a good question.
I mean, like, it's not like you said. I give myself this, and they just basically it does. So
Yeah,
it's
but
kind of
he, you know what? As powerful as he is, he seems to be limited. I mean, if anything we saw when he fought Ichibe is that he can't, he like Aizen, his arrogance is much like in the same vein as Aizen, where he can't really fathom anything that is above him.
yeah,
So when he's getting slapped 2,000 miles or 300 miles, or whatever you want to call it, I'm not getting into that
yeah.
conversation.
I'll not get into
billion,
that one.
billions
Um,
and billions of feet.
I'm not allowed
yeah,
to talk about that conversation.
when he's getting slapped around and he's like, what the hell is going on? And then when he can't speak because he's using the name of somebody whose very existence is based on naming things, and he told him not to say his name because you're not worthy of saying it, and he does, then and he can't speak, and he's just like, okay, there's some things that are still new to me as far as I've never come across something that you know I can't beat or I
Yeah,
can't overcome,
but see then how,
as
but
long
they
as
know who he is as
and
well though. They know of him. That's the kind of thing they seem to have. Well, some of the royal guard seem
they
to have a
have
history with him.
general knowledge of him as far as who he was when Yamamoto originally fought him, but they don't seem to know him the same way. And what looks like is um
Well, Shutara seemed to
uh,
know him like the way she was talking to him.
Chitara knows him.
Hmm.
I do. Korenji, I mean, Tanjiro does not seem to know him like that. Shitara seems to know him. Uh, Oetsu only seems to know him from information about when Yamamoto originally fought him.
Yeah,
Um, what
secondary, I think.
Hikafune obviously doesn't.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Hikafune.
Hikafune does obviously. Hikafune, she probably doesn't know him, and Ichibe, if he is the same way he is, I think he probably knows him, but I don't think they. I think this knowledge of him is probably in passing.
Yeah, well, if he
That's
does know him, then he's clearly not seen him fight before or anything. That he's clearly not had to.
probably
Oh,
they
probably
don't
not.
know,
I
but it's
only I think only
but at the
Yamamoto's
same time,
fought him for real.
what I find interesting is we make the after this Ash Wallen. They made such a big deal about, oh, he has the power. This is one of the Lord Majesty's, powers, and da 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 da. And he has all these powers. But what I have noticed is this whole situation with the Royal Guard is very, very similar to the invasion. The invasion when at the end of the Rancor arc, when Aizen is sitting there fighting everybody, or Aizen and Gin and Tosin are out there and they're fighting everybody. And I mean, what they're capable of. It's just whether or not they're going to somehow, and then the Visor showed up and it's like, okay, what are they capable of? And it's kind of similar to that. You don't know what box is, and they're putting such emphasis on that. But at the same time, it doesn't seem like the Royal Guard are taking out their heavy hitting abilities either.
Well, they didn't do much considering like the Royal Guard. They didn't do They still kicked
Yeah,
ass, but they didn't kick as much ass as what I expected. I mean,
Oh,
I don't mind them getting beat, obviously, eventually, because obviously it has to be Ichigo that has to win. But I mean,
I
it
want
just
them
seems to be
to.
happening a bit fast
I
compared
don't
to other
know. I
fights.
think that there's had to be a situation in which they deter. I don't necessarily seeing it makes sense for them to get beat because as of these past couple of chapters, it seems more or less like, oh yeah, they're the most powerful royal guard and they're doing the thing, and then it's just like, but they're only a little bit more powerful than Shinigami, and that's why it's irrelevant. And as we know, Stern Ritter aren't really that combative capable.
hey now, most of them,
And
not all of
when
them.
it when it comes to fighting toe to toe with the Shinigami, especially one using their Bankai, and we have
Yeah,
seen this times that if not for the medallion,
a lot of them would have been defeated right away.
the element of surprise, and even when using the Volstang and even their abilities, they seem to always get their ass royally kicked.
Unless you're
Hey
talking about
now, hey
Killjoy, he gets
now,
his ass kicked over and over again, but he
cool,
could come
cool,
back for more.
cool G and Basby. You know what? I rest my case.
Coolji? Is that what you call him?
Quick,
Coolji?
yeah, Cool G and Basby. They've
Well, that's who I was
in
talking about.
all.
I was talking about him. I
Wait, wait,
was
wait,
saying
wait,
about
wait,
him.
wait, 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 wait. Quilge was fighting against Ichigo.
Yeah, I know,
And
and even though he wasn't like winning, but he wasn't getting his ass whooped. He was
Well, he was
defending
getting his ass
himself
whipped
no, he
with
over and
wasn't
over
getting his
again.
ass whooped, but he was fighting Ichigo. And
yeah.
Ichigo, by nature, is really I mean, as powerful as he is and as unique as he is, he's really inconsistent in his fighting.
Yeah,
I'm
but
aware.
Uh,
I mean, we've
I'm
seen
just
him
and
get
saying
beat up by Grimmjow.
and
he was taking
and
out Bankai
Basby,
and stuff and wounding Hirohara and whatnot, blowing holes in
Basby didn't
Orihime.
fight. Basby didn't fight anybody with a Bankai out. So
What Hitsugaya? Or
Oh
no, wait, sorry.
no!
But
no, he
but
didn't.
what?
No.
I'm sorry, I done goofed, but like Vasby has proved that
Oh,
he can hold his own. I'd say with his
Yeah,
fire.
I think he, out of the little ones, he probably is the most
yeah,
powerful, which annoys me.
I'm not saying that he's not capable of fighting. All I'm saying is that,
Well, he's not anymore,
he hasn't been
apparently.
tested against anybody.
For HIV.
So,
Very tight. My dick is on fire.
um,
Oh my god, I'm sorry.
It's
So
herpes.
sorry.
now,
I was more
but
thinking of
Gonorrhea.
his
Yeah.
before
Geo.
we go on, Morph mentioned, about earlier when y'all were talking about Robert,
Robert.
All
and
right.
he says he was not, um, on the train of, oh yeah, Byakuya could do such and such, people doing something. I'm sorry. I have over 10 years worth of information on Byakuya's fights that says Byakuya was always a badass, who was
He
always
is.
capable, one of the most powerful captains, capable of devastating anybody with little effort. So I don't know whether it's as he put, the ranting about how Byakuya was always powerful, because that doesn't seem to make sense to me.
Oh yeah,
Well, he's
the
not here, so I can't speak for him. But
I know you
yeah.
can't speak for him. I just wanted to address that because it kind of irked me when he said that.
it
As if
kind of hurt
he,
me, and I had to wait five days
As
before I
many of
could
the
say
things
it
he
about it.
says does.
yeah,
Good.
like it irks me when he said as if we don't have any proof of vehicles capabilities. Like, okay,
What?
we have tons of proof of vehicles capability when it comes to fighting and noting that he's one of the most powerful captains, and yet we have
Byakuya is also
nothing
one of the
to
most
pretty
versatile
much,
captains.
yeah,
We're getting a
and we
robot.
have nothing,
You're doing
nothing
robots
to
off.
contribute to any of these being more capable. I'm sorry, just nothing that says that.
The only thing that we have on Robert is that he probably got a lucky shot in Kyoraku. Now I'm calling him
Yeah.
Shunsui. I call him Kyoraku. Kyoraku.
First of all, they were barely fighting. He wasn't paying attention. So
He wasn't paying attention.
yeah, okay, yeah. I mean, and you give credit where credit is due. Yeah, he got the hit off on him, but you know how he got the hit on him matters just as much as that he did.
I know. I
You
mean,
know,
the thing we know about Kyoraku as well is that we know his Zanbakuto is as lazy as he is. So we know that. So
Honestly,
and
my stance on the whole like whether they got the shot off or not, it doesn't matter to me that it was a cheap shot or whatever. the fact that he did it, and it's not even like about like how powerful that made him, because it was indeed a shot when Shunsui was off guard. But it's more that him scarring Shunsui like that was good fodder for a rematch being set up, like so many have been in the
I
past.
don't think that's what the rematch is. I think the rematch is probably Shunsui versus Hashwolf.
Well, that's the thing. Like I remember like way back like 40 odd chapters ago, and good thing Ship is around to correct my math. When Ruki was fighting Az, and then as soon as 568 rolled around and Byakuya came back, you're like, oh, okay, Byakuya versus Az, no, rematch, and then didn't happen.
Because Byakuya is awesome and he's not that petty.
Exactly, but like,
So
but we all thought it was gonna happen, right?
yeah, we
Because
all
Az
thought it was
wrecked
going
his
to
ship.
happen, but Byakuya came back with a understanding, not about, I mean, about
Exactly, like
himself and
so.
about Rukia. So he didn't even need to go to that thing. He's not petty. He's not like, "Oh, Regiment, I have
Well,
this against." He's like, yeah, dude,
well,
you kill
it's
me and I
it's
survive.
it's
You
not
kill
like
me and I
what
survive.
it's not how like how he didn't do it. It's the fact that we all expected it to happen because
Yeah,
of what happened to him in the first invasion, similar to what Robert did to Shunsui. He permanently scarred him. It was good fodder for like I'll take you out
if
now. And like I would have liked to have at least seen him in action more than just shooting his gun a couple times and like almost pulling off betrayal and then
you've
getting
noticed
shoved in the
for
ground.
this, if you notice for this part, the only ones that seem to retain any pre concept of grudge match mentality seems to disturb her, especially with the people that they stole Bankai from. You know, Kenju came down on Basby like, oh, he's mine. I stole his Bankai. I'm gonna fight him. And know,
Well, actually,
every,
that was Juju
you
Man
know,
setting it up, right?
I
As
mean,
I
well,
recall,
he said, the law, what the rule is and stuff like that. I get to, kill one I stole the thing from. So, I mean, yeah, that was set up, but it seems like, the people that, I mean, by that notion, if Zuru
whoa!
is still
You are
alive,
roboting really hard. Somebody hearing that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
am
Oh
I?
God.
I was trying to secretly type it. Thanks, Phil. I was trying to secretly type and tell him to drop in and back out again. Maybe drop out and drop back in the next time we stop talking. But no, you ninja'd me. You ninja'd me.
Yeah, my
Is it?
Seal
voice.
style, seal style.
So,
Yummy.
anyway.
Sorry.
Okay, you're fine now. Go ahead.
So, yeah, that's the same concept, if Zuru is still alive, then he's going to come back and fight Basby, shooting a hole through it, which is about, like,
He's gonna fight. Oh,
yeah.
Basbe. See, Basbe. I just wish Yamaji was alive so just slice him in half. How
Uh,
dare you survive an attack by Yamaji?
how dare he have like slightly less powerful flames that allow him to counter it with severe burns to his body?
That makes
No
any
one can
sense to
dare
me. I'm
be at
sorry.
Not in his
what?
Bankai. I wouldn't mind it if it was in his Shikai. Not in his Bankai. Not a.
Wait,
It
no,
was
wait,
Shikai. It
what?
wasn't
Wait.
Shikai.
He wasn't
It was.
Shikai. He wasn't
It
at like
wasn't.
15 million
Oh, was
degrees
he in
yet.
Shikai at the time? Okay, then it's fine. I
Yes.
Yeah.
forgive him. I forgive him then. I forgive him.
Oh my God,
But it,
he can't
you know
even throw
what?
flames in Shikai. He
But
can't
you know
even
what?
throw
But you know
flames.
what? Yeah, well, technically, probably can. But the problem, I think, is that even in Shikai, I just don't really see Basby being that. If we're going to fight Basby versus Yamamoto, even without Yami using his Bankai, Basby, come on.
It's no, it's clear that Yama's flames were way stronger than his. It's just that since
Maybe
he
in that
was using
particular
fire as
instance,
well, he could deflect some of the damage and
yeah.
not die. Because he came
Okay,
out
granted.
really badly injured.
I'm
So
not.
he's just being boasting when he's like, "Oh, my flames are as powerful as your Captain Commander's." Blah blah
Yeah,
blah. Melt your ice.
I thought
Yeah,
that
of
was
course he was boasting. Yeah.
extreme reaching on his part.
Yeah. No, I mean, people just showing he's arrogant. That's all.
I think
Yeah.
it might be around, the way that, he struck Ion and he didn't die. And then he was like, oh, right, I have to kill you again. So I'm just going to put it down to that he assumed the guy was dead. Because otherwise Yamaji's going to kick his butt. He will.
You
Now
mean
I believe past the
Sorry, say that
issue.
again?
I said I believe past these points you wanted to bring up an issue of dead being dead because they're dead and people not understanding that they're dead.
Okay, yeah. Other than right, so Silly, did you have any predictions or
Oh, like I guess just one based on 605.
before we move on? Yeah.
Yeah, the end panel where Ichibei was looking all scary and demonic.
Yeah, you look crazy. Yeah,
He looked
we
great.
talked about that.
He looked very creepy, and he still has more switching back between goofy and jolly and like dead super serious. And because like that was funny to me because like on page 7 he's just like hopping back and forth drawing lines in the ground, and then like by 10 pages later he's like, okay, I guess I have to kill you, and it's just a little creepy,
Scary.
but like it seems like he's not going to use his Zanpakuto, but he's going to go undergo some sort of transformation if he's glowing and his eyes are rolled back. So we'll see. I mean, I think it's going to be some sort of Buddhist related transformation, like into, I don't know, Asura.
Do you think we'll
Who
see more
knows?
Sanbakutos or
Out of the Royal Guard, I'm not. I mean, I maybe
I
out of
don't
Kirichi
think
and his
that's.
Bankai, but not out of the Royal Guard. I don't think
I don't think
that.
so. I think that'd be a bit overkill. It's
a bit overkill if
so.
we see more of their Bankais or more of their Bankais? More. Well, we haven't really seen
I don't.
much
I think
Shikai
it's a
out of
little
them
bit
though.
overkill for.
Mm,
I think it might be a little overkill for regard to bringing out by
Bring that
in
Bankais.
all five. There's a reason why there's only five of them in Natural Guard. Like bringing out a Bankai, even when one of them brings out a Bankai, destroy all the palace.
It's been like Las
yeah.
Noches then. Actually, that's one of the things I was enjoying about the Royal Guard was that how long has it been since we've seen people not using their Zanbakuto to fight? That it was just like, yeah, this is my abilities anyway, kind of thing. So that was kind of cool because do you remember back in the day whenever we seen like Byakuya and all just fight with swords, and then it was like, all right, you can actually block me. Okay, time to get out the Shikai. And it's like, oh my god, you go kick butt now. And the kind of, well, I suppose Okiora did it as well, like, oh, this meager level and you think you're brilliant, and then it kind of goes kick ass sort of thing on Ichigo's butt. Because Ichigo's like, oh, I must be getting better. And he's like, yeah, no. Time to get die. Time to get
Time,
dead.
time, time to get die.
Time to get dead. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's one thing I just enjoyed about it. But I would like to see more on this. I would like to see the Sanbakutos because I like to know what people are doing. But hey, we've lived so many years without all the majority of the female
We need
lieutenants
to see the Zanpakutos toes of those who already have
downstairs.
existed.
Yeah. At least we got
Yeah, I mean,
Yachius and Kimpatis.
Yachiru, I was blown away by that because I never thought that I was going to be in a position to actually have to fight, and I wish it was with somebody
Sorry,
who
were you blown
was
away or you were not blown
less.
away?
I was blown away.
Yeah.
I wish it was against somebody who was not so.
Yeah, I mean, like,
Uh,
that guy
he
seemed
was
powerful
not.
enough beforehand,
He was.
before your man showed up.
He was. First of all, he was a troll physically and in the power department. And I'm glad she owned him like he was nothing. But I would really have enjoyed seeing her in a fight against like one of the Sternritter girls, But
Yeah.
I don't think any of them probably would have had a sword anyway, so it kind of
I
goes.
mean, I'm kind of done with the idea of girl on girl matches these days. I
Yeah,
just like.
consistently because they don't seem to ever be happening. So what's the point of even
And
winning
the
them?
girls never finish their matches anyway, unless they're Yoroichi and Soifun.
Mm,
They never get to finish their girly matches.
Yeah,
It's either
pretty
big
much.
man get involved. But
So I prefer when it's like a guy against a girl, and then and then it just seems better that way because like this
better.
thing about nothing going not going on about gender roles, just like seeing how they go up in a fight.
But it's like when you realize that the reason that there's not many girl on girl fights is because there's a serious lack of females in the series. That's when it kind of
there were
gets grr.
two whole captains in the Goats 13,
There is one now.
and one of them got. I'm not even gonna get in that, and then the other one got owned with her most powerful technique being used by a robot guy or something. I'm like, I don't know. I don't understand what the hell this is all about.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
It's for that.
Yeah. Exactly. And even back in the day, there was, again, two captains. There's never been more than two female captains. Well, actually, maybe Hikifune, Yoruichi, and
Rankiku got beat
Well,
without
wait. I think
offsetting
back then it was
Shikatsu.
Hikifune and Yoruichi.
yeah,
So,
Hikifune, Yoruichi, and Unohana, but we weren't there at the story. We have never actually seen a time when there was more than two captains that were female.
well, technically, like before that, like just before the Turn Back the Pendulum arc started, there were three.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
there
just
you
before, but
go.
we've never seen a time when there was more than two. Out of 13, 2 out of 13. What is that? Do the math for me there.
Well, hold on. 2 out of 13
2 13s.
is yeah, it's like
Two 13s.
6.5. But
Yeah.
but I think hold on. Actually, I want to go check the uh the image we have of the original 13 because I know Unaha's in that group, and
Yeah.
you can probably tell by
Well,
like the
Unohana's obviously been a
silhouettes.
captain since the start. I know she's one of the first ones.
No, I know, but like the silhouettes might like show that there are
Who was
more
that? Who was that female on one of the covers of the novels?
as a Shiro.
Who?
As a Shiro,
Okay, tell me about her. Who is she?
she's a Kenpachi. Apparently, she's like the ninth one before Kiganjo.
Was there not
Eh,
already another Kimpachi before that?
we only know in canon about the first 10th and 11th.
Who's Godpachi then?
Godpack. Oh, that's basically what we used to describe Kenpachi in the novel because his Zanpakuto in the novel can absorb power and make him stronger.
This is Saraki.
Yes, because
Ugh.
the writer of the novel was not Kubo, just basically made up a Shikai for him, because it went to hell and and as a Shiro can like clone her hands and use them to cast like thousands of
So
Keto at
so then who
once.
What
then
was
who
the
was
one?
Stupid.
Wait a minute. What was the guy? What was the guy? The guy before Kenpachi or whatever who had some Zanpakuto that had Keto that was like more powerful than like 1,000 Itsukatsus or something like that.
That's as a Shiro, and it was I think more that he could like clone his arms and stuff to appear everywhere, so he could cast thousands of Keto at once or
Oh,
Yeah,
something. I don't know. I
that's
don't
a
really.
that was
It was
that thing was
stupid.
so stupid. We don't even really address it as an existence of
We're just gonna
definitely
leave,
never have.
yeah,
site.
let's gonna leave the articles on the wiki about the things just blank.
Yeah, we don't
We don't
really
want them.
address that.
Yeah, what was the what did you call the novel?
I don't know.
Oh, I know what it was. It was Spirits are Forever with You
Okay.
because Don Kananji was involved somehow.
Donkanonji. Really? Oh, I have one
Really?
of his, like, see his page. I was looking at his page whenever I was going through the techniques, and I still haven't got around to uploading all of them. It's taken a while. I have them all, but it's just that his techniques are so inconsistent. It's like, take the break. Is it one or is it two? Like the name of it, like, if you know what I mean. Even now, it's like some of them are,
Yes.
but they're the same
I've got.
technique, but he calls them different names repeatedly. So who's
Oh
this
yeah.
guy?
I've got the image of the original 13 up. I can only see when a as a girl. Like everything else looks male.
Yeah,
Because
it's
you can only see 6 out of 13 though. Everything else is speech bubble.
who's the guy with the um bits of hair sticking out of his ponytail that are kind of bangs, I guess, two stringy
Uh,
bangs.
in the image or like as a Kenpachi?
No, I think there's two covers, isn't there? To Spirits Are
Oh yeah,
Forever with You.
I don't know what the second one is. I think it's as she was the first.
No, she's the
Anywho,
second. She's the second one. She's on number two.
oh well, like I don't know. I think I might just like cut out part
Ignore.
of my brain if I ever have to learn like a goddamn Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah,
But
it's not Bleach. It's not Bleach. It's wannabe Bleach. But yeah, okay. Right. Well,
uh
we got mightily off track there. Um, what were we talking about?
I okay. So we got past my one prediction about Ibe going all Asura on Man's ass.
Okay. Well, I'll just say that I liked the chapter. It was nice to see Ichibe kick ass. I also really loved the fact that do you know how hard it was for me to say I'm sorry, I'm too sick to be in this because Ukitake was there and I was so happy.
Yeah,
I was so
yeah.
happy and I couldn't talk. I was like, oh.
And he
So it
was
was
all
really
bandaged. Yay.
he's so I love my Ukitake. And I really want to know what he's done. I really want to know what he's done because like the last time he did, like he disappeared and did something, like he showed up and destroyed the thing, a part of the Sugyoku. So it was like, wow. But yeah. All right, so we'll go on to our misconception section of the week. This week, as Sal was saying earlier in robot Dalek voice, death means death, or dead means dead.
Dalek.
Dalek, exterminate. Yeah,
Cyberman.
Cyberman. Sorry,
Totally.
Cyberman.
Delete.
The Daleks are basically what the one of my car at this point.
Yeah. Okay, so this one Sil wanted to talk about last week, but I sort of went, no, but I want to talk about Faster Lord Ichigo, who doesn't exist. Ah. So go ahead, Sil, if you wanna.
Okay, so this week we're talking about death, specifically the death of two fan favorite characters, Kon and Don Kananji. Now I know it's hard for you to accept that they're dead, but they're gone. They're never coming back.
Don Kanonji?
And Kon,
Wait, what?
I mean, or wait, no, I'm sorry, I'm talking about Gino Quiora.
What the hell are you talking about?
The second two most favorite characters, obviously.
Okay.
So, anyway, so
Wait a
I
minute,
mean,
I'm confused.
I'm
What are we talking
confused
about?
too.
that was my attempt at missing the point comedically, but it fell flatter than bread.
Okay, it's 2
Yeah,
a.m. here.
maybe not
Getting
do that again, but okay.
fine,
Or maybe
fine.
state, or would you say that death of two really fan favorite characters, like state two fan favorite characters that are dead, or maybe.
Okay, to get back on point, you're talking about the issue
Uh,
that some people have with Okira and Gin. The fact of the matter is, Okira was killed. He had, high speed regeneration, which is very rare ability amongst Hollow Slash and Rancor, and allowed him to regenerate his body. The thing about that is, it says specifically within the content that is, if his internal organs are damaged, he can't regenerate those. He's going to die. He said in thing that he was dying, and then he proceeded to turn to dust. He is dead. I have
yes.
never seen a situation in anything besides, oh, I don't know, Dr. Manhattan, for anybody else, and he did that of his own will, for anybody with the capability of coming back from dust. And let's point out that Yokira does not have that as a power. I don't care.
I have seen someone come
Dr.
back from.
Manhattan. He's nowhere near Dr. Manhattan's level.
No, he's
I,
He
not.
come back glowing
I,
blue
I,
with his dick out.
I have seen
Yeah.
something. I have seen someone come back from dust, and they're not even that powerful. Do we all remember the first Batman movie? The first Batman movie, like Adam West Batman movie, they all got
Adam West.
rehydrated.
I never.
I'm not even sure
Who?
what you were making a reference to. So
Well, the
What?
first Batman, like the Batman series,
Are you
like
are you
holy
honestly
god,
honestly
gosh,
gonna tell
Batman.
me that Adam West Batman is like a good reference point for anything ever?
I'm just saying I have seen people in my god awful life where that happened, where
Well,
it
I
was
don't, I don't,
basically
I
Adam
don't,
West. He rehydrated people that were dehydrated to dust.
oh, unfortunately, Ichigo does not have shark repellent bat spray on him, so we can't really make that comparison. But
okay, I don't
but
know
I
how
was
like '60s version of Batman is relevant in this sitcom.
what I was gonna say is I've looked at a lot like tons of archives, tons of talk pages, and I've seen so many like arguments for since we're on Loki right now of him being alive, like oh what if Orihime like resurrected him or like he reconstituted himself elsewhere. It's like just accept that he's dead. Kubo saw his death on
A better
in the anime
question,
at one
a
of the
bet,
festas. Like come on,
a better
he
question would
yeah,
be why would Orihime do that? What
exactly.
possible
He destroyed her mind. Why would she want him back?
he blasted a hole through her crush's daggone chest. I don't know about
In
anybody
front
else,
of
but the
her.
last thing I can recall is a girl going out of her way to daggone help somebody who daggone damn near kills a daggone guy that she's trying to get with. Like that doesn't happen. So
Severe Stockholm syndrome.
yeah. So like and by what benefit does that benefit anipbody?
Yeah,
This guy.
he's not
And he's
good,
like,
he's not
oh,
bad, he's
well,
just
he got a heart. Look, this guy's concept here is representation of nihilism, which means he has no
beliefs, no cares.
beliefs, no cares. He is perfectly and utter empty
Hmm.
inside.
Yeah,
And whatever revelation he had, whether it was real or imagined by him in his moment of death, It is just it just pertains to that moment of death. Anything after that, you can't be sure of anymore than you sit there and say, "Oh, he's alive somehow, by some way of by some notion of something that never happened or never occurred in the series because it didn't happen in the series. He's dead." And on to Gene. Now, I constantly wax poetic about Gene was still alive doing, and he was never a bad guy, and he was still alive right now. Would he be owning a Stern Ritter, or would he be getting owned and stuff like that? But the fact of the matter is, he was a bad guy. I don't care what anybody says. You could try to sugarcoat, oh, well, he did it for Rangeku. Rangeku didn't even know what he was doing for him. And what
I mean,
exactly, why was he doing it? The whole notion behind why he was doing what he's doing made no sense.
It was
You're
a
telling
selfish
me
Aizen.
over yeah, you're telling me for 100 years you are going to go along with Madman's plan to take over existence, and you're going to murder people and cut people in half
yeah,
and
like why would he
play
even need
underdogs'
to cut Iori in
minds
half? Honestly,
and
why do you need to cut Iori in half
and
to
all
like
this
Because
pursue
it's
his evil
evil.
insanity,
plan?
yeah, and all this these mind games and manipulation and all this insanity or to get to a point where you can daggone touch Aizen's Zanpakuto before he could release it and shoot your Bankai through him only for it to not work because you waited too long to do it. Like that was the most asinine freaking idea ever. Like I for
Like,
somebody
why
who's
even
supposed to be
bother
a
doing it when
child
he knew how
prodigy.
strong he'd gotten? Why even bother
Yeah.
doing it at that point?
For somebody who's supposed to be a child prodigy and worked his way up from when he was a kid all the way to, I mean, that was got to be the worst in game ever. I'm sorry, I don't know where that idea came from, but he deserved to die, and he did so expertly. He was ran through. He had his arm cut off. He was thrown through a building. He was dead.
You know what? I'll say this, all right? Like he's honestly, like his plan for killing Aizen was surprisingly solid because it was only stopped by the Hogyoku deciding, "Oh, plot Kai go."
Wait. Now you're doing it.
No, no, no. Hold on.
No, I'm
With that
saying
said,
your robot voice.
oh,
Are you
okay.
are you typing? Are you editing again? Are
No,
you
I'm not
editing?
doing anything.
I'm glaring at
I,
you. Are
I,
you editing?
no, I'm
I'm
not.
only joking.
Gosh, gosh, leave me alone. Anyway, I
Leave me
was gonna.
alone.
I'm saying I
Okay.
liked
No.
Gideon's plan for killing. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, I
Yeah.
like Gin's plan for killing Aizen because it was pretty solid. It only got screwed over because the Hokyoku was like, Plot Kai, activate. That said, I still think he was a terrible person. Even though he's like, like his whole like obsession with like preying on Giku was very reminiscent of like a sociopath just latching onto someone and pretending they care about them or
I
like
did it
doing
for
themselves as
you.
if they care about them.
I murdered
Yeah,
this person for
ex
you.
yeah,
when
exactly.
he
And
when he
like
has no concept of understanding the empathy involved with caring about somebody is something he latched onto because when they've known each other since they were kids. So it's the closest that somebody like him, a sociopath, can have to having a deep relationship. And even
exactly.
since then, he has so dissociated himself from being with her over the years that they aren't even, it's not
She
like a
doesn't
normal
even feel like she
friendship.
knows him. She doesn't even feel like she knows
Yeah,
him.
it's not a normal friendship. There was nothing there because he's so latched on to this wrong done to somebody he considered a friend, even though he doesn't know how to even be a friend to somebody. But as far as, the plan, it was solid up until the point that somebody as intelligent as him waited until the Hogyoku, till Aizen implanted the Hogyoku in his head. Now, he could have did that anywhere when from the time that they were in Hueke Mundo and all that stuff. I mean, it was really just a botched plan because you would have, of all people, once he had the implantation in there and he was daggone wrecking shop all over the place and transforming, you should have known after that. Yeah, there's no going back for that. Even my Zanpakuto 2 is not necessarily going to be a guarantee that it's going to kill him. Like I just didn't
And
see that plan
I
being
mean,
thought
over how
through.
many
I mean,
years? Like, it doesn't take 100 years to
Yeah.
decide to
like
so
here's the thing.
badly.
So like I like that I like there's two parts of his character that I liked. We're talking about his death originally, but now we're getting to him. But there are two things I liked. One, the fact that he was smart enough to lie about what his Zanpakuto could do, about what his Bankai could do
Well,
directly to
well,
his
well, he learned
superiors.
that from
Like
Aizen.
no, like no, no, like but like his Bankai. Like
Well,
the
he
thing
still
is,
lied. He learned that from Aizen.
no,
Aizen
no,
lied.
no,
Aizen told
no,
everyone
no,
he
but
got a
like
water-based
his
Zanbakuto.
yes, but like but he told he lied even to Aizen about like what his Bankai like
Alrighty, lied even to
can
Aizen, yeah.
extend and retract, but it also has the poison ability they told no one about. And I also liked the interesting concept of him thinking that he was the main character of the series, who was the only one who could defeat Aizen no matter what, even though we knew that was Ichigo. And so it took him dying to realize that he was wrong and that Ichigo's the only one who could do this. And despite like his little revelation of like, oh, you have strong eyes, I can lay this to you, and his little mentoring of Ichigo,
Yeah,
to
you're
be
a
honest,
robot again.
fucking Skype,
What happened? I
Skype,
can hear
Hmm.
you. What's wrong, Skype?
Con.
I can. There's nothing wrong with Skype. What's going on with you?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I can
I
hear you
guess
fine. You just
he
suddenly
sounded
started
right
going
on my
Skype,
side.
Skype. What's good?
Con. But
Okay, you just broke into a one-man show. Okay.
yes, but I guess to get back to the point that I was gonna go on in the beginning, about his death. So first of all, like as Sal said, he was brutally murdered. Well,
Okay,
no,
not brutally
I'm sorry,
murdered,
not
brutally
murdered,
self-defense.
killed, killed. It's repeatedly self-defensed. Fine, self-defensed, really hard. Many times he was stabbed, he was de-armed, he was just thrown around like a rag doll,
You
and
know I
then
gotta make up my words in this thing.
yeah,
People
and
listen to
then
my
and
words.
then he said himself, and I know that this is a point of contention ever since Byakuya did the same thing, and they came back with to the use of severe healing. Okay, I'm
Well, Anti
dead.
Tanjiro is ever gonna show up
Yeah,
again.
I'm going to die. I can do this to you now and leave this place. And then, Rangiku later saying he didn't leave anything behind because he wants me to move on and stuff.
But
So
see, we
he
did put in the articles that Byakuya was dead until that
yes,
meeting said no.
and
He said he's in a
and
critical condition, and then it's like, oh,
yeah,
he's not dead.
yeah. And here's the thing about that. Like, even though he didn't die, it's clear that had he not gone to the Royal Palace, like he would have just been in a coma or just died because that's how badly he got wrecked by Ass.
He got
And
ripped by his own backpack.
same thing applies here. Gin was suffering from major blood loss. He had a bunch of his organs gone. His right arm just had a hole in it from where Aizen touched it. He would have like even if like he had managed to like survive for a bit longer after he closed his eyes, he would have died, and he knew that.
Yeah,
So
he
he's
knew
dead,
he was dying.
and no
Byakuya
one's
was
gonna bring
dying.
him
He wasn't
back.
dead, but he was dying
and
as
and
well.
and like no like everyone looking at it objectively because like only he knew his motivation for attacking Aizen. Everyone else only knew um,
Oh,
about
actually, on that
about like his
topic,
actions on Aizen's side, so they wouldn't want to bring him back or heal him. They just want to leave him die. So yeah,
yeah.
that's my sense. What were you gonna say?
Me? Was I gonna say something?
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, you're about to like you're like I want to say something.
I can't remember. No,
God,
I think I was just agreeing. I was just, yeah, nod, visual, auditory nod. Yeah, verbal nods? Is that verbal nods? Ah, that's what it is. No? Okay.
uh,
Nobody's agreeing with me. We all died.
no, I don't know what you're talking about now.
I said I was just verbally agreeing with you. I was
Oh,
just like, oh yeah.
verbally, verbal nod. Okay. Well,
No, I
I
mean,
thought you
oh,
were saying.
oh, yes, I know what I was saying is that people would go like, oh, well, what was it? Well, Byakuya survived and stuff. But the thing is, we had Byakuya in the articles listed as dead. We did say
Oh
he was dead in the
yes,
articles. We did say because he was saying he was dying. And then until
like
the manga
Rankiku.
said otherwise, they say, oh, he's not dead. He's in a critical condition. He thought he was dying, sort of
Yeah,
thing. Whereas Gane
like
was dying,
Rankiku.
and obviously he didn't have
Look,
anything.
it's always a matter of perspective. The fact of the matter is if the thing is the guy is saying I'm dying or I'm dead and stuff like that, then he's dead as for all intents and purposes until such time as he's not.
Until such time as he is not.
Guess what? Yukira turned into dust. That's dead. There is no
Des.
question about that. There is
Did
no
did
coming
it?
back from that. That's dead. And I don't care which way you want to spin that one and stuff like that. Either which way you slice it, that's dead. And as far as Gin, he's saying he was dying. He passed the torch on to Ichigo. There is no instance of him within any chapters following that scene. So, and Rangoku was like, I never understood him, and da da da. she pretty much confirmed in herself that he's gone. It's not like she can go down. Oh, he's locked up now, and I can go and talk to him and ask him why you did what you did. The only person that survived that whole situation was Eisen and Hannibal, apparently.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Why did Orihime just go heal her again? Like, I mean, she was
who?
fighting.
Who?
Orihime healed her, didn't he? Harabel.
Oh, yes. I remember reading like a translation of Nestle Tonight, which explained that. Basically, Apache came through a portal, like from fake Hardcore Town to the real one, where Orihime and Ichigo were. Basically, as soon as Ichigo collapsed, and then that's where she begged her to come and heal them, and Renji was basically like, "Oh, I guess they're not our enemies now. Let's go heal her."
I guess we're
And
not
yeah,
enemies now. Why are we
I
not enemies now? Like,
I don't
I
know.
want to
It
know
wasn't
when that
Kuba.
decision was made.
Kuba was not writing it, so that's why.
Oh, right, did. Okay. Got you. I was like wondering. I was like, why did we decide the different? I mean, it's just like a bit odd, they're enemies and now, oh, they're not enemies anymore because Aizen is a dick kind of thing.
Yes.
But like, it's hollow. They're still hollows, sort of thing. But yeah, okay. I guess not. I guess not.
Uh,
But I guess there are people who are probably dead in the series at the minute that we haven't got listed as dead. Like, well, I don't want to say Izuru, but what was it you
for
said about
what?
Izuru, Sal? Izuru Kira, who's probably like a lot of people keep
Oh
listing him
yeah,
as
cause
dead, like he's
cause
dead, he's dead, he's dead, and it's like, well, there has been no confirmation that he's dead, and we've seen people
came back from
survive.
Wars.
Well, we've seen him actually heal Rangiku inside like half an hour, and she had a half her side or spleen taken off, sort of thing, right? Is Sal
Yeah.
alive? Have I scared him off? Sal, you dead gone alive? Sal, is he
Oh
alive?
dear.
Sal, Sal, he's still in the call. Is he muted us? Sal, have you muted us?
Oh dear.
What?
Oh dear. Oh, 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 he's alive. He's alive. Where were you, Sal? Where did you leave? Where did you walk to?
I, I didn't go anywhere.
Yeah, I didn't go anywhere. Well, you did. You didn't answer for a while.
Uh, I didn't know you were asking.
I think you muted us. I think you muted us and didn't want to pretend. But yeah, no, no, I was just bringing up Izuru and Izuru's current
hmm
state. I want you to say the point you made beforehand.
Oh, the thing about that is that there are multiple times. This is, I mean, Izuru's thing. First of all, there was nothing in there that said Izuru was dead. The fact of the matter is that he was not been featured for a while, but that's true of a lot of characters in the story. So by that notion, you could probably say that they're dead as well. But you could also say that they're alive. And it's not the first time that you had a character who had a hole blown through his body or whatever type of mutilation or grievous injury or fatal injury happened to them and they come back from it. Um,
Yeah, it's not the
the
first time.
fact of the matter is that in this particular situation, there are a lot of situations where somebody got harmed, especially in this arc, and you thought they were dead and they weren't. And there's a lot of situations where somebody got harmed to a level that you're sitting there thinking, well, this person probably shouldn't be dead after that. Like, for instance, in the first part of the arc where Trojiro's daggone, I don't know, javelins into the room, I'm sitting there thinking, well, he could be healed. He's not dead. He could be healed, and then you find out he died, and we're having a funeral. And I'm like, what?
I know. It's like
He
sometimes.
died
You
for
know,
real. He died in the manga.
I'm like, what?
He died in real life.
So that kind of like threw me. But in Kira's case, um, there's really just nothing. I mean, they seem to focus more on if somebody died when they talk about these things.
Yeah, like the only thing we really seen the reference was Rose, was it? Rose afterwards, like, I really like Kira, or Izuru. I like saying Izuru.
But you know what? He didn't. I mean, you could take that in any way. You could take that he's dead. You
You
could take
injured
that
him.
as he's very injured and in a coma or something like that. I mean, there's plenty of ways you can take that situation and way he spoke about that to Nanao, Nanao, Nanao,
No,
whatever
no,
his name
no. Na na na. That
But
sounds like the most
you know,
annoying name ever. Na 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 na
No,
na.
no, 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 no,
but you
no,
know,
no, no, no.
but by the very notion, third division is hmm,
Screwed.
they're kind of in they're all about the spare anyway. But
Despair.
another misconception I'm actually wanting to bring up in reference to this is this notion that somehow, and I think Zill is kind of a proponent of this notion somehow that, oh, finally the Stern Reader are doing something. The Reader have been doing a hell of a lot since the beginning of this arc. The only people that actually weren't really doing much of anything were actually the Shinigami.
Yeah, they kind of
And
like went, oh, get to the barriers,
I'm
and then
aware they've been doing a lot. I just like having them do more.
I just want. But then the
and
Shinigami.
At least against the world, and I don't mean like in general. I mean against the World Guard when they were just literally lining up to
wait a
get
minute,
their ass
wait.
whooped.
Now, that doesn't make any sense in itself as a statement because of the Royal Guard. You shouldn't be able to do anything against them, to be honest with you.
They're supposed to be stronger than the Gotai 13.
Yeah,
Yes, but
like
he's
if
supposed to be
they're
like
the Royal
elite
Guard, they
stern.
should be stronger than Yamamoto by the very fact that they're empowered
I
by the
am
soul.
quite aware of what they are, but I'm saying that since these are elite Sternritter who have powers greater than the regular Sternritter who already have powers that can just beat down regular captains,
Nuh-uh-uh.
and as we see with Leal, he has a power that can just overcome any defense, no matter how powerful that is, because of his super shot. I'm just
I
saying, like,
think it was
even
very
if it
appropriate
took like a
for
power up
only
for that
one
to
of the Royal
happen,
Guard
then
to completely decimate them like they were nothing because that really shows you what you're dealing with. The fact of the matter is these so-called elite guards are only elite in name only. They're just a regular bunch of daggone lettered Sternritter.
I don't
They're just
mind like the Royal Guard not getting nerfed right away because that would have been even worse, honestly. Because they've been hyped up way more than these guys who've been introduced like 6 chapters ago. I'm just saying that
I
like
know
even if it
if
took a
they're dead, I
power
will
up
get
for it to
really upset.
happen, even if it took a power up for them to get like real, I'm just glad that they're finally being able to fight back in some capacity rather than just rather than just staying dead. That's all.
well,
Because
I don't.
I
Well, in order for them to get some capacity, you had to pretty much take out all the others, making anybody
Yeah, and
we have not
I don't
seen
like
use their
Robert
ability
dying,
totally
but
useless.
I'm just glad that they're doing they're coming they
But
came back now they're doing something. I don't mind Maya wrecking them all. I just want them to be able to do something against them rather than like
but
leaving
you know,
them to have like a 5-on-1 against Juju Man.
What sort of annoys me about it,
but
oh, sorry.
that's like expecting the Fanchion to be able to do something against captains, which proved not to be. They're not very capable of doing. But to say, I mean, but in general, speaking about the Stern Ritter, they have been doing a hell of a lot. As of at the current state of this arc, the first 11th, the first, the third, and the 11th division that we know of are completely decimated. They virtually have nobody. You could probably count the number of members alive on your hands when it comes to either one of those divisions.
Yeah.
And
I
that's
don't
just the ones
think
we know about.
I don't think a lot of people actually think that like they haven't been doing anything because like they have in the first arc they did a hell of a lot. They did more than any other villain in this series ever has, including Aizen and his cohorts and his army, who never even killed a single Shinigami to my knowledge. But I'm just saying in the second arc when all the fights have been much less one-sided because Bonnet coming back and Volstinic happening and now the power stealing going on and then like because the problem is there was an equal amount of like hype for well not equal but the Royal Guard hyped up and so were these elites in Raider because they they
Well,
were
they
the
haven't
elite
really
like
been
Juju
hyped
Man.
up that much. Like, we didn't even know they existed until,
No,
oh,
I'm
they're
not saying like
here.
they were hyped the same amount. I'm saying that like by definition of them being elite, there was some amount of like, oh, they might be able to
But
face up against
wait.
the
I don't
Royal
know
Guard.
I don't know that I personally have ever believed that because when it comes to it's not just like the Stern Ritter, but
Well, you don't believe any of the things that
the
we do.
the the WAG in general is that they have a lot of things that really mean much of anything except to themselves, like the the five war potentials and stuff like that. That doesn't that doesn't have any meaning. And from all we know, what if they're important, seem to be treated as important. They're important enough to be, I don't know, recruited, then oh yeah, you can't mess with them. But then 5 minutes later, kill them. Like, I mean, it really doesn't seem to have much of a foundation or definition to it. It's just whatever the box says it is at the time, and and however you should handle it.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
the same
well,
with Elite Guard, like I just said, they're nothing but lettered Sternritter that he happened to pick, maybe more powerful than the other, being more battle experienced or way the power works. But I mean, shoot, they had three, and then he
then he what?
killer, and he can lower your, I don't know, your blood pressure or some shit. And then you got the guy with the hood on who can implode stuff, and you got the what's his name who can shoot stuff, and then Miracle, who knows what he does.
He
And
just stands there and looks like
and
Thor.
and when you think
A
about it, well,
miracle.
Lily or whatever his
Lily.
name is, he
Leo.
his Lil or whatever, Lil Barrow or whatever, his power is essentially shooting stuff. So as you can see, when he first got killed, he's only as good as long as he can shoot something. So somebody get
I
up on him and
know.
cut him in half, then he's not that elite and maybe
I'm
he should
not.
have picked somebody else.
The thing is, I'm not complaining about him going down the first time. Not at all. Like, because that was
No,
expected. Like every
I'm
death in
not
that like montage of murder
I'm not arguing
was.
that point with you. I'm just saying I don't think the elite means as much as what importance that Bach extends to them, which is essentially I brought you with me. That means you're elite. Like,
Yeah,
you know
well,
what I'm saying?
Here's the thing. Like, two of the four powers we've seen the full extent of so far have been enough to damage Royal Guard. The death dealing almost killed Nemaya, except for Askin talking about it. And then the X-axis shot him through the heart with no resistance, and then took out his shoulder while he was at it. So the true power of at least those two have been enough to take on these super captain level opponents. And so
but only after
at
a
least,
power up, though. I mean, it seems more to
well,
me that
ask
what
me
I
to
what I
check
think
out
what I think
first.
is that on the elite side of things is that I think they're just normal Sternritters that he has thought to himself their powers probably be more used to me going this way because
That's what it's all
obviously
about with him. How much of
he
use
chose
you are to me.
at the
That's the
time,
whole
yeah.
thing. That's why
Whereas
he did the Ash Swollen thing. The people that he brought with him are elite because he brought them with him. Everybody else that got left behind, he's considering, these guys are elite. I'm gonna bring them with me. That's why they're elite. Everybody else, y'all are Ash Wallen fodder. Like,
yeah,
you're cannon
and
fodder
Robert
to the
knew
Asshole.
Ash
that.
Wallen.
Like Robert, obviously,
Cannon
the way
fodder to
Robert
the Ash.
talked was that
Ass wailing.
Yeah,
the way Robert talked was that anyone could have been brought up there and they were left behind, and he knew what that would
exactly.
mean.
What
So
made more sense to me would
obviously the power that
bring
they have is
Basby.
the power they have now is the power that obviously he gave them from the other Sternritter combined. He basically took all that power and gave it to them, which obviously has made them
You
more
know,
powerful
as strong
tenfold.
as Basby is, I don't think he could do jack shit against any of the Royal Guard, even with a power up, because he's just fire.
No, no, no,
Whereas,
I'm not saying anything about like
no, no,
obviously
no, Sal was.
I said, there's plenty of other Sternritter that could probably fit the bill for what he wanted. I mean, we've
we've seen him resurrect them for freak's sake.
had this conversation before. I said the point of Grimmy, but maybe Grimmy was a little bit overkill. Maybe he's a little bit unstable.
Yeah,
Yes,
But he brought him out
way
there.
too unstable.
He brought him, but the thing is, he brought him out there. He let him go out there and do whatever he was going to do. So apparently, he was okay enough to daggone fulfill the necessary need. And he could have, like I said, he could have brought anything. And I
I'm
think the same thing with
pretty sure it was for
the same
Kenpachi only.
issue with the captains. Not all Sternritter are created equal by the very notion of the fact that they utilize their powers, the way their powers work, and the way that they handle combat. Obviously, the vast majority of well, I'd probably say all four of the Sternritter girls probably wouldn't have been material to take up to the Soul Palace.
yeah.
you know, how what good is what's her name devouring people going to do? What good is Candace with her lightning? It'd be the same issue with Basby. What good is what's her name with her super strength? She would get owned some way somehow. And what
Well,
good
sure,
is
she got owned by her own friend that eats people, didn't she?
yeah? And what good is
Well,
Giselle with with her zombie thing, that gets old real quick.
Yeah, yeah, the zombie thing. Actually, that wasn't bad. That part, mm, it was annoying, but I mean, it was pretty persistent. She was pretty like,
Who's he gonna bring love? He's gonna bring love up there and make the royal. Come on.
Pepe.
Yeah,
Oh.
Could have just
Pepe.
brought Quilgy and then like had him jail all five of the Royal Guard and just kept going.
Yeah, on the topic of Quilly, do you think? I think he probably just left him in Hueco Mundo just to fight Ichigo because he's that powerful, or something like
Yeah,
that.
I mean, like he
Well,
basically
he's
said,
his job.
Quilgy's stalemating him. Let's go to Soul Society now.
His Quilji's job seemed to be essentially for him alone, as his position is the Juggernaut the First or whatever, to basically freaking take control and bring into order, Hueke Mundo after, Bach walked in there and freaking owned Hannibal like she was nothing. And
That's a
that
fight I
was
would like to see.
essentially his whole point. So apparently he is powerful enough to handle that on his own, as we saw him just wrecking everybody, and he's probably the best case of the type of combat we hoped to see throughout the entire arc amongst the Stern Ritter,
I
and we
mean,
were sadly disappointed.
honestly, for the rest of the Simulator, I'm expecting like, because here's the thing, like I know the whole argument of like, oh, they're not using enough bows, not using Quincy techniques, but the same was also true for the Arrancar, because like a lot of their fighting was relying on the abilities they gained in the Resurrection, which was like, oh, I have water now, or fire, I can breathe death, or
But
whatever,
wait.
and
I don't know that to be true
and
because that's
hold
their
on,
resurrection.
I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet. And
I'm not.
I'm not do.
Am
But
I taking away your ability to speak?
yeah, I've been losing it this entire podcast. Um, just slowly. I think I said Ichibe's name too many times. But the thing
You're
is,
incredible.
I get the whole like we want to see more bows, we want to see more spirit weapons, but in all honesty, it's pretty clear that like the spirit weapons and bows of these Sternator just aren't enough for a captain level Shinigami, or even like a lieutenant in some cases. Like when Candace and her posse tried pulling other bows against Ichigo, it did nothing. Like
Yeah.
honestly, God, nothing.
Like,
Askin
well,
tried pulling
look
out
what
his
it
bow,
took.
and then like it didn't work because he tried to use his ability again.
Yeah, well, look what it
No,
took Uryu to defeat a
they
captain.
have to
I mean,
rely entirely
Pepe
upon
tried to
their
pull out his bow
powers.
when after Byakuya was like on his knees and couldn't move. That's when he tried to shoot him because like otherwise it wouldn't work. It's clear that like most of the Exterminator, with the exception of people like Quilji and Jujuman and probably Hashwolf and Uryu, they're just like Quincy whose natural abilities are just like average fare and who rely mainly on their granted abilities by Jujuman because those are
That's
so much more powerful.
that is
That's just what it comes down.
abundantly clear. It's abundantly clear that all that is abundantly clear, and I entirely agree with you, and I understand the whole concept behind not using. But I'm saying your Quincy's, this is what you do. You should at least be mixing it up, using that stuff too. I mean, Quills didn't use his ability until after Ichigo tried to get away,
Because
and
it's not a combat thing. Like
it's not
compare
a
that to
combat. Yeah,
compare
that
that
is
to like the
true.
Heat or the Thunderbolt. You can't just like blow it off willy nilly and
But
then try to defeat your opponent with it. It's just caught there. You know, it just immobilizes them. Like it doesn't like let you shoot them through the chest or like zap them with 5 gigajoules of electricity. It's not for attacking. It's for
Well, I'd like to
binding.
see a bit more use of bows. I would like to see a bit more use of bows.
Well,
Like
you got one. You got a gigantic one in this last chapter. You got a bow like the size of the palace.
oh dear, I
God.
think cells dropped out. Hold on,
Oh dear.
because my phone is ringing. Hold on.
Well, to be fair, we should end this podcast soon because it's been going on for like
Yeah,
over an hour now.
yeah. Hold on, wait a second. We're trying to get this, trying to get it back. Hold on. It dropped out a call. Hold on. Hold on. Let me see if I can kick him off the end call with this person.
What? What?
Try
What?
rejoin. Hold on. 10 seconds.
Na 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 na.
You
No,
making fun
no,
of me?
no.
Dun,
That's
dun,
the
dun, dun,
no, no,
dun.
no, no.
I'm
That's the
joking. I'm
that's
joking.
from the mob. Don't play with my feelings like that.
Don't play with my feelings. I'll
No,
hit John Call. Why is that not? Why is it calling me?
yeah, that's a good question.
Hold on. See, he's calling. He's calling. In case anyone heard that, yeah, he called me. He called me. Hold on.
I could hear it, so that's probably gonna show up on the recording.
Add to group
Uh,
call. There we
it,
go.
it, it,
There we go.
it is on you.
Got him. It wouldn't come up on
Okay.
my computer. That's why. You there, Sal?
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. It was
Okay.
phoning me instead of going through his letting you join the group. So I had to wait until it came up on the computer. So I had to kick you off the computer because you were. It was calling me on my phone, but it wasn't calling me on the computer, and I needed to wait until it showed up on the computer. Sorry about that. You seemed to drop out of the call for a second there. So it's probably just on me.
Yeah.
I created a group.
So
Uh,
I don't know what someone
I,
saying. Yeah, but as I was saying, like, yeah, even Blute is a far-going conclusion. And it's like, isn't it the thing that you use to, protect yourself against damage and also to empower you, which we have not only seen being used by Quill. So, I mean, I don't know whether these things are things that he just, he's like, screw it, I don't incorporate it no more, or
I mean,
it's the last
he
arc,
clearly
I'm
didn't
done.
forget about it by the time that he got to Misaki,
Yeah,
because he
yeah.
mentioned her blue being super powerful, and then it just kind of fell off the face of
And
the
Yeah, we
it
earth.
haven't
kind of
really
fell off.
talked
I
about
mean,
blood after that.
I
Yeah,
don't know if the last time somebody used it was what uh,
first
Az
it
when
was.
he got cut by Byakuya, or was it Ichigo when he got stabbed in the neck or something like that?
Ichigo. It was
But
Ichigo.
yeah, it was like Ichigo. But after that, you haven't seen anybody use blue at all. And I'm like, isn't this a significant part of your combat capabilities? I mean, you would think of how many daggone people were like, you know, like, oh well, I'm using my blue right now, like.
Yeah,
So, I don't have to
I'm using my blue.
worry about,
I got
yeah, I
my
use
blute.
my blute, so I don't have to worry about being injured by your attacks or, I think this is why I say I think the best combat that we have seen in this arc from Stern Ritter was by Quilch himself. Everybody
No,
else was
no doubt.
Who do
kind
you
of
think?
lackluster, and not because he used all the original stuff of the Quincy, but the fact that he used everything within his arsenal
Yeah, he used
in order to
everything he
fight
could.
Ichigo.
He tried
And
his
we've
best.
seen the same fights between captains and Stern Ritter, and they're using medallions, they're using their unique ability, but they are not using their. My bigger issue is not that they're not using bows and stuff like that. They don't seem to be using anything that they have to win this fight. It's always just this one ability. And I just really don't understand that concept. And when you're in a battle with somebody, it's like I'm gonna only. I mean, yeah, my bow is crap, but so I'm only going to use my you know, my love power to make everybody infatuated with me. Well, like, come on, like you're not really
Subject.
utilizing any real capabilities here, and I'm kind of questioning, what you're doing in combat
Right. So you want them to use
because
more Quincy abilities, not just because it's supposed to be Quincy
I
attacks.
want them to mix it up.
Well, you're
Oh
gonna
Basically,
yeah.
I'm
get
not
it.
saying everybody has to sit there and use bows and Himuryuku and Blute and stuff like that. I'm just saying,
Here I'm with you.
mix it up.
Well,
Use
you're
all of
about.
your
It's clear we're about to
use
see
all your
that
abilities.
with Bach because he pulled out a giant bow and shot himself with an arrow and such, and it's clear that like he's not gonna go. Okay, here's what the A is. I'm gonna use that for the rest of the thing because that's not who he is.
Yeah, I don't
He's
think.
all.
Well, he has
I mean,
everything. I think.
The
I think he pretty much has all the
notion
functions.
about that is he can seem to give abilities, but
the
I don't
voice.
know that he can give. I don't think he can use those abilities that he gives out himself. He doesn't
Well,
seem to
Yeah,
be.
he was
I
That
able to
don't
doesn't
give
seem
think
to be
that
himself
his
it.
thing.
voice. He was
I don't
able
think
to.
he's like magically has like the visionary or whatever now. I think he just has power, honestly.
Yeah, he has the power to give that power, but not that power itself.
Yep.
Well, he was able to give himself a power too, though. He was able to give himself speech, right? Right? In the last chapter, or how drunk was I during that last chapter?
But you notice how he had to stick his fingers in
Yeah.
his throat to facilitate that. It wasn't so simple as I'm gonna lay my hands on my throat here and use my healing capabilities and stuff like that and heal my throat. He didn't do that.
He'd
He
like
stuck his fingers into his
he like
jugular.
he'd like tear it open and infuse reishi into it to talk again.
Yeah,
It
that's
looked
like
like
doing a tracheotomy. He did a tracheotomy on himself,
Yeah.
yep, in
essentially,
midair.
with his fingers,
And
and
yeah, best kind.
like that's not really healing. That's more or less. I don't know what one would call that, but it's not healing
Oh,
yourself. That's for sure. And what he
A for
did,
the.
what
I'm
he
just
what he
trying to
sent,
think of surgeon. Is there an
and
A for
then when
surgeon?
he what he seemed to do is this whole concept. And I think as powerful as he is, Bach has some very clear, glaring weaknesses. And as you know, this whole thing about distributing his soul and then taking in that which people die and stuff like that. And I'm like, everything pretty much hinges on people dying for him in order for him to be empowered so that he can, you know, still have senses,
Yeah.
so to speak. Because if not, he turns into an inert stone or something.
Yeah,
He turns
he's
into
good. He's good to a
Helen
vegetable.
Keller
He's a
times
vegetable.
2000. Yeah, it's Helen Keller, mute, deaf, dumb, mute, deaf, blind, no sense of touch or taste, every sense known to man just cut off, and he's, all sensory superstition is his ultimate, what he ultimately returned to. And it's just like, this is why I keep saying he's a parasite. Because that's not, I mean, they worship him as a king and a god, but that is really not what he is.
Yeah, he's a bit
He is
weird.
a
Uh,
he is a parasite. And
a king, a god.
if anybody's played Legends of Cain,
Oh
um,
dear.
the elder
I.
god, which the vampires worshipped, well, not the vampires, the ancients, and then the vampires, but internally, but yeah, the ancients worshipped the elder god as their god, and then they were cursed by Hilden to have immortality and which turned them into vampires, and their elder god was like, "Oh, you are monsters now. I shun you." And then it drove them mad and so forth and so on. And then you find out later in the story that the elder god is no god at all. He's a parasite that exists on the wheel of creation, and his whole entire existence is feeding on the souls of the dead. And if his worshippers were vampires, they were immortal and they couldn't die no more. So screw them.
All right.
Screw them.
So he turned his back on them. But he was a parasite the entire time.
All right. Yeah. Well, I suppose
A
that.
very powerful parasite.
Yeah. That's. I guess that's a good comparison. That is a really good comparison. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah.
So that's what I've always viewed Bach as, like, this god that they worship, but it's a false worship. I'm not even entirely sure if in this fanaticism that they have around him, if not they really see him for what he is. And I think with the Ashwallen, a lot of them are like, well, wait a minute,
Oh,
this
wait.
guy isn't who we thought he was.
Yeah. I
He
think of them.
abandoned us when
Yeah.
we have dedicated our existence to him.
Yeah.
It's
It's
like
easy.
a metaphor for all the people who grew up, religious and then became atheists.
I dedicate my life to this person who doesn't exist.
When they felt abandoned by their creator. But what exactly had it him? He's given them power to do what he wants them to do, which is this.
Yeah. They. They.
But
They have the
I
power to
don't.
serve him and only him.
Yeah, all his went, and then you saw how. I mean, even Robert in his fanaticism at the end there went insane, went crazy.
Had a
But
meltdown.
he still, yeah, he had a meltdown, but he was still in that mindset of utter devotion and worship.
Like, my
He was
majesty, was I
just,
not good enough for you?
yeah, I'm abandoned. Why have you forsaken me? Whereas Basby and Little Toe and all them were like, what the hell?
What are you
This is
doing?
how you treat us? Like, so
Yeah.
apparently, I don't know, maybe he's done this before. Maybe Robert was there when he done this before, and the other ones are new, so they don't know. They're new recruits.
Yeah.
Rob obviously knew from jump that this is what he's about. So obviously he must have been there 9 years ago when he originally did the Ash Wall and
Yep.
stealing power from Katagiri and Masaki,
And a
which
billion
put
others.
Katagiri in a coma, and which died and blew away from Masaki, causing her to get killed in the fight against Grant Fisher, which is interestingly enough because if what they're saying about Ash Wallen is true, then
Ben.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. No.
We'll never know.
No, Sal, come back. Don't die. Don't die.
We'll
It
never know.
happened again. It happened again.
Yeah, I think we should end this soon because like Skype is starting to get stupid.
It's starting to get stupid, I know. Hold on.
Super stupid.
I wish it wouldn't ring me on my phone, though. Hold on, hold on. I'm gonna add him to this call. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. If I can
I
find
got
the
it.
app.
I'm
Oh, you
here.
got it, you got it. Oh, wow.
Okay, what
He's
were you
here.
saying?
Yeah. So the thing is that if Masaki had not been fighting Graham Fisher when that happened, and he had did the Ash Wall and taken her power, she likely would have eventually died in the same way that Katagiri did.
Do you think so? Do you think Katagiri was a pureblood?
I no, wait, no.
From what
She
the
was
trans
Gemished. She was Gemished. I remember that. She was a mixed
no
blood, which is why she was so weak because of her powers, and then
well
and then because she
well
was so weak, that's
she
why
was
she went into
all
a
wait a minute
coma.
no they said she was always weak and that with the
Yeah,
loss
no,
of her
she's
power
always weak. That's what I'm
that was it.
saying. Which is why when she went to
Yeah, that was it. But what I'm saying is that from what translations and so forth are saying about the Ash Wall, and uh, whether it was that, whether it was right then and there, like Robert, or over time, 3 months or whatever later, whatever, like Katagiri, whatever, Masaki was likely going to die because from even what CNET says, the Ash Wallen kills.
Yeah, well, why didn't Uryu or Ryukin get killed?
because they didn't because well Ryukin didn't have his powers taken from him because he was pure blood and didn't have a hollow inside of him. Remember that
Oh, okay, I suppose she was
Yeah,
weakened. Okay.
the whole point behind the Ash Wallen is he takes power from those who are unworthy. A pure blood Quincy in his mindset at that point in time, you're talking about 9 years ago, not right now when he just did what he did. 9 years ago was that pure bloods are all that mattered, and anybody who was mixed or otherwise was somehow not. So you're talking about a very precise usage of the power, which makes sense because if you notice this time around, it affected everybody down below I mean, in the other dimension of what is the Sirte, and did not have anything to do with Hashwall or or Yuryu.
Yeah, I want to know what's going to happen with those two.
So apparently his ability to
yeah.
use this power is highly precise in which way he uses it and who's he uses it on because he powered up those the four that died and nobody else. It's not like he gave power to Hashwalk the Yuryu, whatever. He just empowered the four that died and brought them back to life and empowered them more at the expense of everybody else's power. And
Actual
9 years ago, it's very likely that if you were you were half blood, you were going to die. If you in Misaki, she well, first of all, the problem here is one, Misaki had been tainted. Two, that
tainted.
seeing that she is a Quincy, the very fact that she has a hollow inside her, the only thing that was keeping her alive was essentially her connection to Ishin. Outside of that, she was going to die like any Quincy would when poisoned like that by
Yeah.
a being touched by a hollow. So she was her in every instance of the concept, her time was numbered
Yeah. Oh, well.
because if not for
Sorry about that, guys. Okay, right, we'll finish off because it is getting late. Sorry. But carry on, Sal. Go.
the so basically yeah the ash wall and capability of Bach is pretty much very finely tuned and controlled by him. So he can pick and choose who it goes, who the power goes to, who the power is taken from,
Who he considers
um,
unworthy.
who he considers unworthy, and I'm talking about, it's well considered
Oh my lord, no, don't
as
do this
a
again. Oh, there we go.
innate understanding or least knowledge of everybody with Quincy blood. So,
Well, obviously, yeah,
and
he's the originator of Quincy's, ain't he? He's where it all starts.
so,
But yeah.
those who are unworthy, those who aren't worthy, so forth and so on. Very precise about how he handles it because he took power from those in the Serite and only gave power to resurrect and empower the four that he
That he chose to
and
bring with him.
didn't do anything with Yuryu and Hashwall.
Okay.
So yeah, his ability seems to be very precise.
Okay. Okay.
As
So,
Yeah.
as 9 years ago, he did it to Katagiri and Masaki, and not Ryukin and Yuryu
yeah. Or Soken. Oh,
or
well,
Soken.
I'm assuming he was alive at the point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, Soken. Yeah.
Before the Hollow Wall killed him. But yeah. Okay, Sylvie, you got anything more to add then?
No, he's got it all. I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
I have too much stuff to do to go on another long rant.
Yeah,
So
I know. I know. I'm sorry we did go a bit overboard today, and sorry for the technical issues, but hey, it happens. Like I said earlier on, it's not professional. So yeah, but don't forget, people, Geen and Ulquiorra are dead.
that was the point we made, and then we just went off on something about Quincy's.
Again, I know it's gonna happen. We go off on everything.
I have to listen to this again to see how exactly we just transitioned from that because that was something of beauty.
It was. It was. Right, but yeah, so we better off
The
finish off because it
most
is 3 a.m. for me.
off-topic and this is probably the most
Oh
full
man.
conversation
It was the most what?
in
Say that again,
podcast
because it
ever.
kind of
So
paused there. So it doesn't want you to talk. Say it again.
understand.
Oh my lord.
Uh,
Skype just doesn't want us.
oh,
It's like other people want to use Skype.
we just need to finish this up. Oh God.
Oh yeah, all right. Well, I'm gonna head and cut it off. Sorry, Sal. Sally's still alive? Yeah.
Uh,
hmm
Oh, right, he's still here. Okay, guys. So yeah, thanks for listening. Don't forget to follow and subscribe if you're enjoying them. We'll talk to you all on Thursday or Friday. Yeah,
yeah,
round about
or
then,
Wednesday,
or
Wednesday
Wednesday.
depending on. Yeah, God knows.
Will depend on the day that it's released and the day or which people are available to talk. All right.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I can't believe I missed everyone. But yeah, good night, guys. It's 3
All
a.m. here.
right.
I'm going to bed.
Night, everyone.
Say bye bye, Sal.
Night.
Night. Ciao.